Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119. PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting through my website, emailrevealer.com, or you can find me at Opperman Investigations at gmail.com. If you like our show, check out our new Patreon, where we put up 8 new hours of exclusive content each week at our Patreon, Opperman Report Patreon. But our archives are always free. You go to Spreaker.com, you get all our free shows. You go there, sign up for free. There's a chat room, and you get an email notification anytime we put up new content. Our guest today is Ian Halperin. He's come out with an incredible new book called Controversy: Sex, Lives, and Dirty Money by the World's Powerful Elite. It's a 6-volume book series that automatically updates once you get the Kindle version, which you couldn't even, just like you couldn't do that 25 years ago, but now that you can buy a book and it gets automatically updated for you with new content. You can find him at Twitter at Ian Undercover at Twitter. Ian, are you there?
Hey, Ed, first off, I'm a huge fan of you, and it's an honor to be on your show. Congratulations on all your success, and just keep it up, man. We're living in tough times now, and just keep building, because I think the best is yet to come for you. And again, it's truly an honor to be part of your show today.
Well, that's a shame, man. Ian got booked on the wrong show. Ian, it's Ed Opperman. It's the Opperman Report. No, man, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Remind the audience, man, who is Ian Halperin?
I'm a #1 New York Times best-selling author, and I'm award-winning filmmaker. Ed, I've been in the business for many years. I've done a lot of radio in New York, a lot on Sirius. My specialty is investigative reporting, and I'm just always trying to push the envelope and find new subjects. And this new book is an incredible story, because I actually met Epstein when I was doing my Models book, the sequel, Bad and Beautiful, which won a Book of the Year award in the United Kingdom, because Jackie Collins went on a campaign. She loved the book, the legendary late novelist, and she basically saved my career by getting it a Book of the Year award in the London Daily Mail. So this book's interesting because, and I met Epstein as one of my sources. I believe I interviewed him in 2001. I had no idea he'd become the world's most prolific child sex trafficker. He seemed pretty normal during the interview, but then at times he seemed to really go into a completely different state, almost a bipolar state. And he talked a lot about, how sex with teenage girls should be decriminalized. And he said it was just a cultural aberration, So those were things that raised a bit of red flags for me, considering especially I had a baby daughter at the time. And he said he was living in the wrong era, because he said homosexuality had long been considered a crime and was still punishable by death in some parts of the world. But he really said if he was living in other times, life would have been perfect for him, because he didn't believe sex with underage teenage girls should be illegal.
And he knew that you were a member of the press. How long had you been talking to him when he went into that detail?
Yeah, that's a good question. The interview happened at the behest of a mutual friend we had in the modeling business, who arranged the interview. And he said, okay, this guy Epstein will give you all the information you need to write this book. And he actually did. He outed a lot of people. That's all in my book, like almost 20 years ago. So Epstein proved to be a good source, but I'd say about 45, maybe an hour into the interview, he started going off on these tangents. Said he was a person born in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I'd say so. But let me ask you this, then from your estimation, could he have ever spent like a whole day with somebody and they not know what his interests were?
I don't think so, because his ego was so big. And as time wore on, you start realizing who this guy was. He bragged about all his properties all over the world. He bragged about his connections, a lot of notorious business people in America, and they trusted Epstein to handle their portfolios. So at the end of the day, it was almost a comedy of errors with Epstein, and within the same commercial culture that he preached about in the modeling business, he was sort of delusional in other ways, because he basically put himself under the bus by extolling the virtues of having sex with underage girls. I thought he was joking. I mean, I didn't really take the guy serious. I thought he was just talking just nonsense. obviously, as time wore on, I realized who he was. And I have so many connections in the Epstein case. So it's all almost like a full circle with Epstein. I've covered the royals for many years. He used to stalk Princess Diana. And he didn't hide any of this. He was forthright. You know, he claimed that Princess Diana was murdered. And I detail a lot of that in the book. And he talked openly about it. He talked about Prince Andrew's connection, how he used Andrew. He really didn't hide much during the interview. The interview lasted almost 6 hours. It was supposed to last an hour, but because we met at this like Eastern European deli in Manhattan, he said normally he eats healthy food, but he loved it so much. I mean, 2 or 3 sandwiches later, he was still going on about his life and times.
This is incredible. Did he get into any stuff about intelligence connections? Because we know he was connected to Adnan Khashoggi, who was related to Fayed's family.
Yeah, you ask a very good question, Ed. I'll say this. In the book, I mean, we're on week 5 now, so week 6 is next week. Every week, I upload new chapters, and in this book, it's mainly about the royals. It's 10 weeks, and I'll say this: I'll have to give you the exclusive on this. You really pushed the trigger in me.
I love you, man. Go
ahead. So this is exclusive to Mr. Ed Opperman and his wonderful show. He had links to. I've worked with Israeli intelligence a lot because I did the Roger Waters film, Combating Contemporary Anti-Semitism. I'm going to reveal that Epstein was a triple agent in the book. He was also involved with the Saudis, and you mentioned Khashoggi.
Yep.
He was dealing arms to the Saudis, but furthermore, I out him as a triple agent because aside from stalking Princess Diana, he also stalked the Princess of Sweden, Madeline, and the other woman he stalked was Carla Bruni, who was the wife of Nicolas Sarkozy, the French leader. And he was so upset with Sarkozy for nabbing Carla Bruni that he actually gave the Libyan government secret information on Sarkozy's dealings, gave all the information to the French government. If not for Epstein revealing all the secret dirt about Sarkozy to the French government, there would be no investigation. And I will reveal that in subsequent weeks. He really just made money off everybody shamelessly. He was in hindsight, a real sleaze bucket, a sociopath. I mean, he even stalked Howard Stern, the self-proclaimed king of all media. He said the only guy who was more powerful than him in New York, this was back in 2001, was Howard Stern. And he said the only guy who could get more women than him in New York was Howard Stern. And he went on and on and on about Stern. It was to outrageous proportions that he talked about Stern. And he admitted that he had secret stuff on Stern. He hinted that he had photos somehow of Stern's private parts, and that he had befriended his ex-wife Allison just months before Stern got a divorce. So clearly this man, I mean, with all his spying and all his corrupt activities towards young women, it's amazing this guy even had time to, manage people's money because he was so busy with other things.
But it seems also that he was using these young ladies and the blackmail and stuff like that in order to ingratiate himself into these lives of these, like you said, the Sarkozy's wife and stuff like that. Incredible.
Yeah.
The book is called, let's get this, because I'm going to get a copy of this book right after we get off the phone. The book is called Controversy, Sex, Lies, and Dirty Money by the World's Powerful Elite. Ian Halperin. Halperin. And if you read the description, there's so many names that he names that are in this book that if we read them all right now, we would have no time to do the interview. But one name I don't see is John Casablancas.
It's amazing you mentioned John. I can't believe you mentioned
I got your phone tapped, Ian.
No, this is wild that you mentioned John.
Go ahead.
When I wrote the models book, John called me and said, "Oh, you better watch it. If anything's wrong, there's going to be lawsuits." Now, after it was published, he called me and said, you did a great job, because a lot of the people you outed, they really deserved it. They had it coming to them, like Gerard Marie and Jean-Luc Brunel. And, 20 years later, almost, like, you have, like, the Daily Beast quoting the Jean-Luc Brunel stories in there, which were all provided by none other than Jeffrey Epstein. But incredibly, you mentioned Casablanca, because I actually became friends with him in the years before he passed. And he admitted he was no saint. I painted him. I outed him in the book as being a guy obsessed with sex and having sex with models. And he called me to congratulate me after the book was published. And when he died, the BBC did a special on Casablancas. And at Casablanca's request, two people interviewed in this special was going to be Angie McDowell, the model, and myself. Look, Casablanca was a pioneer in his field, okay? This is long before the Me Too movements. All these agents, it was the norm to bed all these young models. I mean, listen, these guys were in it, sure, to make money, but also to be around beautiful young women. A lot of people just don't realize how Casablanca really crafted the Big Six era in the supermodel industry, with Cindy Crawford, Claudia Schiffer, Linda Evangelista, Christy Turlington, Naomi Campbell, and Elle Macpherson. They were the Big Six. And if not for Casablanca, that era would have never happened. It was extremely exciting. So, in respect to John, I didn't put his name on the cover. He is mentioned a couple of times in the book, because he did have the courage to come clean and admit his faults. And he was a key source for me in subsequent conversations. He really told me how the industry worked. So I saw really no point in outing Casablanca in the book, because I outed him already in the model's book, and he graciously called to congratulate me and said it was spot on. So he wasn't in denial. A lot of people in the entertainment business, they think denial's a river, because these people really are in complete denial of how they've acted.
So now, Ian, let me ask you this. Now, because we talked about John Casablancas, Jeffrey Epstein, Brunel, Donald Trump. Donald Trump must have been aware of Casablancas' reputation, and yet he let his little daughter go work for Casablancas.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Well, I deal a lot with Trump in the models book, Bad and Beautiful, and you look at Epstein, who symbolized a life of privilege and depravity. Sure, he was charged with sex trafficking of minors, which is the most despicable thing one could be charged with, in my opinion. But as far as Trump goes, he wanted the best for his daughter. And at the time, Casablanca was the best. There was no threat of Casablanca going to hit on Ivanka. And, Trump was a player. He owned the Trump modeling agency, which I outed in the book as well. I mean, a lot of question marks about Donald Trump back then and still today. And I focused on the accusations leveled against the Trump model management of really sort of using it as a front to recruit young, beautiful girls and, not really promote their careers properly because of ulterior motives. There's no doubt I dealt with that 18 years ago. So, all these agencies you allude to, they were a danger to the community. And they really showed the lowest values and morals that a business could display. And that's the big problem. You have to, especially when you're Donald Trump, a real estate mogul, you have to adhere to higher values than everyone else. And that's the problem in this whole bizarre triangle with Trump, with Epstein, with Maxwell, with Prince Andrew, is these people are prominent figures who did not uphold the highest values. I mean, it's almost they uphold the lowest values. And they failed to really be role models to their clients who fell victims to them. And that's the sad part in all this, because so many innocent women have been affected by this child sex trafficking that dates back so many years.
Did you, were you the recipient of any repercussions due to your reporting on Trump?
Not that I can recall, it's so long ago. No, I think back then Donald was able to dish it out and sort of take it, you know. He wasn't as defensive as he is today. Again, you know, who knows who this person really is, except maybe his family, because I think with Trump, it's just an extended version of The Apprentice for him, being president. He loves the cameras. It's like watching the old WWF with Trump as a politician. And the only props I can give him is that I've never seen people more interested in politics than during the Trump era. It's amazing how politics has become a sport. And I do think, love him or hate him, I think America's going to miss him because it's television. He knows how to work the cameras. It's a TV show. And it's been, unfortunately, at the expense of most Americans, the most watched TV show we've ever seen. You know, I was in a hospital about a year ago getting a checkup, and I see 4 African Americans around a TV laughing their heads off. And they're like orderlies, hospital workers. And I asked them, what are you guys doing? And they said, every time this guy comes on, press conference or a briefing, we watch. We can't get enough of this. So there you go. I mean, you know, is he a good president? Absolutely not. But he's a good performer.
And just like you said, just like Wild World of Sports, he could end up going down just like that skier that we saw every week going down. Rolling over and over, head over heels. Will it ever end? That poor guy.
I do have one. That's funny. I do have one question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, it appears that Biden's going to be elected.
Yeah.
So, do you think if Biden's elected, do you think Trump's going to, like, hours later be in handcuffs or charged with all kinds of illegal things? What's your prediction? I'm just curious.
I did predict during the primaries, the Republican primaries, that he would wind up in jail or prison.
I mean, would you agree with me that Nixon looks like Mother Teresa compared to Trump?
Yes, I do. I mean, this is, terrifying, But we got to take a commercial break. We are with the great Ian Halperin. This time just flew right by. The book is Controversy, Sex, Lies, and Dirty Money by the World's Powerful Elite. Now, you can get this book for $10 on a Kindle version that gets updated. You said every week, Ian?
Yes. Every week there's a different update for 10 weeks.
Okay, I never buy these books. I'm going to get a book after I get off the phone with him. Because every one of these names he mentions in the book, the Kardashians, Bill Gates, Prince Harry, this is all stuff we talk about here every single week. This is Opperman Report stuff in this book. And you're giving us a great, enjoyable interview here, Ian. You can check him out, too. Always great content on his Twitter, too. Ian Undercover on Twitter. We'll be right back with more of Ian Halperin right after these messages. And now a word from our sponsors. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, Stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119. PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. We're here today with Ian Halperin, who's burning up the lines here. Controversy, Sex, Lies, and Dirty Money by the World's Powerful Elite. It's a Kindle book you can get on Amazon, and it's once you buy this book, it's updated every week with constant new information. There's about 25, Anthony Fauci, Michael Jordan, Howard Stern. I could read these names forever. We'd be going on forever. But now, Mr. Halperin, you were telling us about, off the air, about some breaking news, some inside information you have about LeBron James.
Yeah. I mean, I've lived in Miami for many years, and I lived through the LeBron era when he played for the Heat and won 2 championships. So what I learned about LeBron, look, why did LeBron really leave the Heat? And this has never really been revealed before, and I found out the reason. A, he didn't like the coach, Eric Spoelstra. LeBron didn't like him. That's reason A why he left. But reason B, as good as LeBron was, and I respect a lot about what LeBron's about as a person, he gives back. He has his promise school. But there were a lot of rumblings that his wife, Savannah, wasn't happy with LeBron's Miami lifestyle, and that LeBron was having dalliance with all kinds of women in Miami behind her back. And this was corroborated to me by his limousine driver, who said he'd be bringing LeBron to different houses almost every night to meet up with women. He was a player in Miami, and the reason why he left is his wife read him the riot act. That's his high school sweetheart, and they moved back to Cleveland.
And what's the theory there? There's no basketball groupies living in Cleveland? Is that what the plan is? Come on, man.
That's true, but not as much as Miami.
Okay.
You know, Miami's a real place. It's amazing with the Me Too movement. You really haven't seen Me Too movement target many athletes for some reason. And NBA players are, quote unquote, dogs when it comes to women. They're real players. For some reason, the Me Too movement has ignored these mega superstars.
Yeah, but then, like we were talking off the air, there's that army of fixers, that travel around these circles and keeping people quiet.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, you're right. There's all these groupies, these fixers. You see women in black slip dresses, knee-high black boots, flat iron hair just hanging around the hotels waiting for these guys. And the temptation is there.
Yeah, and there could be a photo with them together and hotel receipts and all kind of stuff, and 24 hours later,
it all disappears. A highly compartmentalized life.
Yeah.
They're there for work purposes, but the stuff on the side is too tempting, and a lot of times you see different women and end up in these guys' hotel rooms every night.
Now, staying on the royalty theme, the king of pop, Michael Jackson. You wrote a whole book about him.
Okay, so Ed, you might disagree with me on this because a lot of people do. I got to meet him. I'll say this time and again. There's no proof he was a pedophile. To this day, I will challenge anyone who says that he was a pedophile. That's all my book was about. I wanted to nail him as a pedophile, but I'll say it unwaveringly. There's no proof.
I'm curious, did you ever talk to Paul Baresi or Diane Diamond?
Yes. You've had them on your show?
Sure. And Dan O'Hanks, too, yeah.
Yeah. Look, with all due respect to them, I really got into the details of the case, and everybody has their theory, but I don't think anybody was closer to him in the last year than me. I haven't seen the smoking gun. It's he says, she says, but where's the proof? With Michael being a drug addict, I had the proof. I outed him 6 months before he died. I said, cancel This Is It and get him into a hospital instead of putting him out on tour. Nobody listened to me. In fact, they mocked me. 6 months later, unfortunately, I was right. The King of Pop died.
Yeah, that was some bizarre cast of characters he surrounded himself with. Majestic, magnificent. And who was that? Dr. Tomo or something?
Dr. Tomei. Dr. Tomei.
Yeah, what a bunch of characters.
He was dubious, in my opinion, Dr. Tomei.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so you got me going on Arnold Klein.
Yeah.
I mean,
what a team.
Arnold Klein, there were rumors that Klein was the biological father of Michael's kids.
Really?
Now, Michael was the father, if he biological or not, he was a good father to those 3 children, and he kept them on very healthy diets. I was friends with the cook. She swore that he was the most incredible father one could ever imagine. So there were a lot of enablers, and I said in the book that perhaps Michael was gay. There were people who came to me with compelling proof that he might have been gay or asexual. Now, I put that in the book. I was vilified. I had death threats, all kinds of stuff. But later on, it turned out that Jason Pfeiffer, Arnold Klein's assistant, came out and said he had a huge gay affair with Michael Jackson. So my work was corroborated. I just don't print things. I do extreme due diligence. And again, with Jackson, he should still be alive.
Did you ever get a chance to talk to Scott Dorson, who claimed he had a relationship with Michael Jackson?
No. Okay. No, I didn't.
Yeah,
did you interview him?
No, because what's his name? Hoff was going to put me in touch with him, and then he died. Who was that girl who was Odom's mistress? That girl. What's her name?
Oh, I forget the name.
Because she was on Dr. Drew with me. She was she was on the same episode of Dr. Drew that I was on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, claiming that she was a mistress on there too.
On Dr. Drew's HLN show?
Yeah, no, Dr. Drew's Life Changers.
How did she come across on the show to you?
It was a different thing where she was accused of being a mistress with somebody else, and I kind of tapped her on the shoulder and I said, "Are you one of the Tiger Woods girls?" And she goes, "No, Lamar Odom," because she was Gina Rodriguez's client. You know, we were both clients of Gina Rodriguez at the time. Real quick though, a king of pop, a king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. You mentioned in here. What do you got on him?
By the way, was it Jennifer Richardson?
Oh, I don't remember. I'll look it up while you're talking. A king of rock and roll.
Yeah, I forgot her name. Look, with Elvis, what I will reveal about Elvis, the sad part is that there were people who wanted to kill him, and it was mainly due to Vegas ties with underworld figures. A lot of people thought Elvis would be worth more dead than alive, and guess what? They were right. I mean, his estate's made hundreds of millions of dollars since his death in Graceland. So there's a lot of conspiracy theories about how Elvis really died. I mean, he was really young when he died. And sure, he was addicted to drugs, painkillers. But why weren't they able to save him and get him the proper medical treatment? And I'm going to outline that in subsequent chapters, that people thought he'd be worth much more dead than alive.
And in that same line, you talk about Prince, who had a similar demise, drug overdose.
Yeah, Prince was fentanyl. He had non-prescription doses of fentanyl. I believe he had 2. And Prince also should have never died. Should have never had access to those drugs, just like Tom Petty. Prince and Tom Petty almost died in the same fashion. Tom Petty had gone out on tour for the anniversary tour of the Heartbreakers. I think it was the 25th anniversary, and he had a bad hip. He did have one patch that was prescribed, but then he had 2 non-prescription doses of fentanyl in him. And that did him in. Very similar to Prince. If you look at the autopsy reports, you could basically just take Prince's and just fill in Tom Petty. It's almost, they died the exact same way.
Oh, Church of Scientology. Oh, Charlie Sheen. What do you got on Charlie Sheen?
First of all, Scientology. Let me address Scientology first. I went undercover at the Celebrity Center in Los Angeles, and I wrote a book about it and a film. I told them I was a gay actor. Allegedly gay, and I'm not gay, but I told them that, and they let me in because I had a rich uncle who attested that if I liked the church, he'd donate $100 million to them as a tax write-off. So they let me into the church to film. Because of all the rumors about Travolta and Tom Cruise being deprogrammed by the church, I wanted to find out if that's true, and it is. They have this program called auditing, where you reveal your deepest and most intimate secrets to them, and if you reveal you're homosexual, they'll try to deprogram you, just like they did to John Travolta and Tom Cruise.
Well, that worked.
So when they found out I duped them, I mean, you could even Google this. Scientology threatens me. Like, I had to have a police escort in New York. I was living there at the time. Get me out of the city. I mean, I had death threats, and I almost became like the new Salman Rushdie. You remember when Satanic Verses came out and Salman Rushdie had all these death threats? They tried to stop the book unsuccessfully. It came out. It was called Hollywood Undercover. And in fact, I just released an update to the book under a new title called Keeping Secrets about a month ago. Which is also available on Amazon in paperback or ebook. I will be doing a special paperback version, most likely for Christmas, of Controversy, Volume 1, about the royals, so people can get that. There will be a bit added information, but both will have a bit of unique things in the ebook and the paperback that won't be available in both. that's how we've planned it out. But when you mention Scientology, I'll say this. They're amazing business people. They just rope in so many young, innocent actors who get off a Greyhound bus in Hollywood and try to get them from the get-go. I mean, people like Travolta, Cruz, Kirstie Alley, Jenna Elfman, who I interviewed, they just become devout Scientologists. And like in Cruz's case, he's like the de facto leader of Scientology.
Yeah.
I mean, David Miscavige is the head of Scientology, but it's almost Tom Cruise calls all the shots. Whatever Cruise wants, he gets within the church. And that's one of the primary reasons why Nicole Kidman left him. I interviewed Nicole in Manhattan maybe about 8-9 years ago. And she said, look, she didn't want her kids growing up to be around the church. She thought it was a toxic environment. She wanted them to have a regular education. And that was one of the major factors why she split with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, they actually tried to recruit me back in the late 80s, around 1989.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. But real quick, because we're running out of time, what do you got on Charlie Sheen?
Well, Charlie Sheen, a year before he announced he had HIV, I actually revealed on Sirius, on the Opie and Anthony show, I revealed that he was HIV positive. And again, people vilified me. They said, how can you say this? I did a documentary on Sheen in 2011, and I was privy to a lot of information from his goddesses. You remember he had all these goddesses?
I do, yes.
I interviewed many of them, and one of them back then revealed to me she believed he was HIV positive, and it took me a few years to do proper research. But through a big connection connected to Sheen, I actually found out he was. And I revealed it a year before. And look, it's not something I want to brag about taking credit for. I still think Charlie Sheen is a phenomenal talent, a great actor, and someone who really took TV to another level. At one point, he was the highest paid TV actor in history. But he had a lot of skeletons in his closet. And like anybody in Hollywood, if you start living like you're bigger than life, you become a ticking time bomb. Nobody is able to pass the test of time if the ego is bigger than if the ego just takes over and dictates your career. Eventually, you're going to fall.
So true, because then you can go to these doctors and have unlimited prescriptions, and people around you, no one's saying no to you.
For sure.
You surround yourself with crazy, violent, people, dangerous folks.
Yeah.
Ian,
1,000%. Yeah.
Well, we're out of time, my friend. What do you want to leave us with?
I want to leave everyone with this. Please read the book Controversy. It's available on Amazon. I didn't set out to rehash everything that's out there. Okay, so I'm not out to rehash the stuff, all the allegations, all the salacious stuff that's been in all the tabloids and media the past few years about Epstein. I focus on never before revealed stuff, including about Virginia Roberts, who claimed she was a sex slave, turned into a sex slave by Epstein, had sex with Prince Andrew underage. Now, I set out to nail Prince Andrew in the book, okay, and I do. I interview a lot of young lovers of his, but I believe that Roberts, who claimed she was 17 at the time, she had sex with Andrew, I have incontrovertible evidence that her timeline was off. Her birthday was in August, and I interviewed people at the club, the Tramp Club in London, ex-employees, who said she wasn't there that night. And I make a very compelling case that she was actually 18 at the time, which changes the whole Prince Andrew case. Sure, it's unforgivable what he did with women, but still there is a court of law. If she was 17, it's statutory rape. You don't need consent. But the fact that I proved her timeline was off and she was 18 at the time, it changes the whole case and charges against Prince Andrew. It's not statutory rape. And what has to be proven now, whether or not, sure, they had sex. I'm not denying that, and I'm not calling her a liar. I'm just saying her timeline's off. And if they had consensual sex, then Prince Andrew is acquitted. There's no charges against him. That's the law. And I've received a lot of derogatory comments from people saying, connected to the case, saying, well, it doesn't matter if she was 17 or 18. Well, it does, because there's a court of law, and if she wasn't underage, then we have to really get to the bottom of whether or not the affair was consensual. And it does change the dynamics of the case.
I got to tell you, Ian, in my estimation, if there would still be civil damages. I think you could still get civil damages, even if she was 18 when she had sex with. You agree too, because she was being groomed, and he was aware she was being groomed. He was aware of Epstein and Maxwell and their activities and their behavior with underage girls, and she was provided. Yeah, so I think there's a thing there. Now, real quick though. Oh my God! Don't tell me I forgot. Oh yeah, all right, here it is. Real quick. Dershowitz. You mentioned Dershowitz before. Now, how do you land on Dershowitz and all this?
Okay.
In 20 seconds or less. Take your time.
Oh my God.
Take your time.
You got me here, and we'll end it on this. Oh my gosh. Okay. Very tough situation. Dershowitz has been accused of rape. Has been accused of having sex with underage. I've known Dershowitz for years. Ed?
Yeah?
I'm almost willing to bet everything I have that he's not guilty. And that this is where Robert's testimony becomes weak and her case becomes weak. I have spoken to everybody in Dershowitz's camp, including one of his best friends, Danny Grossman. They did an internet podcast together for quite a long time. Dershowitz claims he never had sex with underage, even when he was underage. He is fighting this vigorously. And I have never seen Dershowitz get enraged or shaken up. And, he's a very smart man. I have to say, innocent until proven guilty. And the case she presents against Dershowitz, which I've studied extensively, seems very weak. And really no corroboration, no merit. Dershowitz, yes, he was Epstein's lawyer. He got Epstein off in 2008 after all these. Really, most people would go away for life. They'd be locked up. Dershowitz is an amazing lawyer. He got Epstein 18 months and to pay a fine. And and what Dershowitz revealed after was, after that verdict, Epstein's ego took over. He was furious with Dershowitz for getting him jail time. Well, most people would be dancing to get a sentence like that, considering the severity of the charges. And Epstein's ego was just astronomical, and he was pissed at Dershowitz for that he had to go behind bars. And he really didn't have to go behind bars. He's allowed to leave every day to go to work. It was just a ridiculous sentence. But that's how good Alan is as a lawyer. Do I think he's guilty? Well, I haven't seen the smoking gun. And again, innocent until proven guilty. The case against him is very weak. It's just hearsay. It's her word against Dershowitz's. And I really do believe Alan on this one. I don't think Alan's a liar. Yes, he was Epstein's lawyer. He was friends with him. Look, Clinton was friends with him. I'll give you another exclusive. The media has revealed Clinton was on Epstein's plane 26 times. Well, my sources reveal it was 61 times. This is exclusive to you because I haven't revealed it yet in the book. And that Epstein asked his staff not to log most of the flights when Clinton was on there because he didn't want a paper trail. What was Clinton doing there? Well, yes, Bill Clinton, everybody knows, loves beautiful women. But there's no proof that he was with underage. He was getting massages. He was having a good time. But you can't just speculate that the guy slept with underage just because he was around with Epstein. It's like, we still have to uphold the laws and prove a case. before making such inflammatory accusations against anybody that could ruin their lives and their career. And, you know, I specialize in true crime investigations, but just to sell more books or to make more of a name for myself, I'm not going to throw people under the bus unless I see the smoking gun.
No, I hear you with that, and I am very disturbed to see a lot of the irresponsible, especially like Twitter, you know, and ultimate YouTube reporting going on out there, just with these hysterical claims against famous people. But your source for the 61 flight trips, can you share that with us?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm on 60 Minutes with Ed Opperman now. You're getting more out of me in this interview, and I kid you not, than anybody else has. Okay, so Epstein's right-hand person, it wasn't Maxwell. A lot of people speculate it was Maxwell. Yeah, she played a part. She used to recruit young girls for Jeffrey. She was also Epstein's girlfriend at one point for several years, and they were just having fun. But yes, she did recruit several times underage, and she should be held criminally liable for that 100%. But his right-hand person was actually a guy in France named Claude Pepe, and I actually managed to interview him a couple of times. And he was the person who revealed, it wasn't like 20 times. You know, look, the media, the New York Times revealed it was 26. He said it was 61, and he can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt that Epstein, he hid the flight logs. He made the staff not log many flights because he didn't want to incriminate his celebrity coterie of friends. Now, it's important to point out that not all of Epstein's people, like the friends on the flights, were celebrities. A lot of them, you mentioned Khashoggi and the Saudis, they were politicians, they were Middle Eastern oil tycoons. I mean, Epstein was a businessman, and he really wanted to be around the top business people, do business deals with them. It's just in the media, the celebrity connections have come out because that's what sells copies, magazines and tabloids. But, you know, to put it in proper context, most of the visitors to Pedophile Island and Little St. James and the Virgin Islands is Epstein's private island. They were business people, and Epstein was just doing business and providing girls to these guys in exchange for, to get their business.
Mr. Ian Halperin, we can do 24 hours a day, my friend. You can come back anytime you want.
Before we go,
yeah.
Again, the book's called Controversy. It's on Amazon. I appreciate everybody's support because it was very tough getting this book out. I had threats from London, from the British monarchy. They tried to stop it. I was actually able to get it out. And so everybody's support is appreciated. But most of all, Ed, congratulations on your amazing show. And again, it's been really amazing to be on, to have had this conversation with you and this interview with you, and continued success to yourself, good health, stay safe during these tough times to everybody, and anytime you need me, I'm available for you. Thanks.
Oh, same thing here. You got an open door. I'd love to have you back. Controversy, Sex, Lies, the Dirty Money by the World's Powerful Elite. And like I said, everybody's named in this thing. If we were to name every name, Oprah Winfrey we didn't get to, McDonald's, the Kennedys, Vladimir Putin, Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston, Pope Francis. Okay, you know,
I interviewed the Pope.
Did you really? Okay. All right, we got to have you. We'll have you back, man. We'll have you back in like a week. Okay, man. Ian Halperin, thank you so much, my friend. Once again, Controversy. Thank you. Sex, Lies, and the Dirty Money of the World's Powerful Elite. And it's Ian Undercover at Twitter. Great stuff on Twitter, too. Thank you so much. Good night, Ian Halperin. And now a word from our sponsors. OppermanReport.com. Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Do you like the work that you see us doing here at Opperman Report? You can support that work by becoming a member at OppermanReport.com. And as you have access to over 200 exclusive shows and interviews that you can't find on YouTube or Spreaker or iHeart or iTunes or KYAH. You can't find them anywhere else online, exclusive to our member sections, to our members. Also, too, there's images, videos, documents, court docs. And don't forget, you can hear your ad played here on the Halperin Report, reach hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis because the show is repeated every day all over the world. Contact me at halperinreport@gmail.com and I'll give you a good deal on advertising rates.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
The Halperin Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. PureSoapFlakes.com. 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com. or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.